Welcome back to Ghost Recon Breakpoint. In this video, I'm going to be running you through a review for the Terminator event that released on the 29th of January. Before we get into it, if you are interested in anything related to Ghost Recon Breakpoint, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on bell notifications. So, we had a delay. It was originally supposed to release on the 18th of December, 2 days before they delayed it. And then they went radio silent. We didn't hear a single thing about it until closer to the time of launch. Then they released 1.1.0, which wasn't related to the Terminator event on the 28th, and then the 29th they actually released the event. They decided to run it from the 29th until the 6th of February, although on the 1st of Feb, when they released the second mission for it, that was the day where I completed it all. Every single thing that could be done in that event was completed. So overall, my opinion of it, I don't know what they would have done if they were squashing bugs and stuff in the month extra they gave themselves with the delay. Then yes, the event did come out very polished. There wasn't anything really that I noticed wrong with it. They could have added in a little bit more depth to it because it literally went like this. On the 29th it come out, you had the first main mission. There were 2 main missions altogether. So you had main mission number 1. You get introduced to the Terminators. You take your very first one down. You get the Mk14 Termination. Then after that mission, you're literally just left with the same concept, exactly the same concept as the faction missions. And that bit doesn't make sense because Act 1 and Act 2 rewards for the faction missions were taken out of the game because they didn't know what was going on. There was a bug, they couldn't fix it, so they gave every single player the rewards and removed Act 1 and Act 2. Like, they just removed the whole faction battle point system out of the game. Then they said Act 3 will be coming at a later date. They still haven't released that yet, even though they're still putting new daily faction missions into the game. There's just no rewards for completing them. Then all of a sudden they released this Terminator event, and it has exactly the same concept. You do daily missions, you earn your points, you unlock your new tiers. So they can get it to work for Terminator, but they can't for the main game. That bit's a little bit confusing. But you essentially do your first main mission, which was quite cool, being introduced to the Terminators. You do your daily faction missions. Then after you've done the first day, it's been a mixture, like you're getting a different amount of faction missions to do for each player. Because someone's told me in the comments they saw someone had 6 daily missions. I had 3 on the first day, but then on the 30th of January, I only had 2, and Con actually had 3 for himself, so I don't know why they were awarding different daily faction missions for every player. But you go through, you do all of those, you build up your tiers, and then the 1st of Feb hits. They released the second main mission, which is the main mission to end it all. So it's just a 2 main mission part to this entire episode, or to this entire event. They've said it's related to like an episode kind of thing. But you do the second main mission, which essentially ends the whole of the Terminator thing, but the guy has a very cheesy, like the Terminator, the T-800, whatever you want to call it, has a very cheesy way of saying, "I'll be back." It doesn't sound anything like Arnie. It's like you could probably just use a soundboard on your PC and you could make yourself sound the same. Like, no effort went into that voice. I mean, it doesn't even really sound robotic thinking about it. But the final Terminator says, "I'll be back," and then you explode, like destroy the facility or whatever, and that is you done with it. After that, you've got a couple of missions. You have like warfare, where there's actually a few different Terminators, but they fight the other factions as well. They're not just fighting you. But you have a couple of daily missions, and then after that, I was tier 21, and 21's the cap. So there's no point me logging on doing anything, because even if I do play the daily missions, it would only be for other types of content. Like, there is nothing left for me to earn from that, so there's no point in me playing it unless it was to get footage for a video. Overall, it's ended for me on the 1st, so it's like a 4-day event. And to be completely honest, it wasn't the best. The rewards, there were tattoos and stuff chucked in there. Nobody really wants tattoos. There were a couple of vehicles, and I say vehicles, they weren't new vehicles or anything. There was actually a couple of new vehicles, but guess what? They were locked behind a paywall. They were actually microtransactions in the game. You had the Kyle Reese pack, and you also had, I think it was some other like Punk T-800 pack or something. They cost real life money, but you do get a couple of new items in there, actual new vehicles, Whereas everything that was free for everyone to play through this live event was all exactly the same vehicles we already have, they just had a different skin on them, so they whacked Terminator at the end of the name. The Mk14 Termination was an amazing gun. I still use it now for killing normal enemies because I love it so much. But the grenade launcher you get from the second mission is a complete letdown. It takes so many grenades to actually take down the armor of these Terminators, and I don't think the grenade launcher actually does damage to the core. So still, either way, you have to use the Mk14 Termination, and that is the only weapon that can actually finish these Terminators off. So, in my opinion, it was a fun event. Don't get me wrong, I'm not completely hating against it. I did have fun for what I played, but as I said, this was like a 9-10 day event or however long it was. I got 4 days out of it, and they weren't even like 6 hours a day playing the game or anything. It was literally jump on, do a main mission when it first comes out, do a couple of daily faction missions, you're done for the day. That's about an hour and a half's worth of gameplay. Then you go on the next day, you've got about half an hour's worth of gameplay for the daily missions because these faction missions don't take long, so that's another half an hour. Then day number 3, you've got another half an hour in there for the daily missions, so that's 2.5 hours, and then maybe about an hour or something on the final day to get yourself up to tier 21. So it's about 3 hours worth of gameplay, and that's okay for content. But now, again, we're at the stage of what is there to do in this game. With the amount of time they had to put this event together and the month they delayed it for, they could have put so much more depth into it. I just feel it was lacking in a lot of departments. Like, it was fun, but there should have been a lot more to it. That's my opinion. If I give it a rating, just to sort of clear things up, I'm gonna say it was a 6 out of 10. I was thinking along the lines of pushing to a 7, but then no, because there's literally, you've got the T800, the biker T800, then you've got the base, like the exoskeleton standard T800. So there's 3 different variations, and that's all you are fighting, and it's all exactly the same thing. Once you go in and you do the very first mission, the main mission to start it all off, it doesn't ever change from then. There's not much to it, and then in the second main mission, when they throw you in with a lot more, like you actually get to see the exoskeletons for the very first time, they throw you into that, and you get to fight 5 or 6 of them, but then towards the end of the mission, there's a lot more that you could fight, but instead you're having to run away. You're being forced to escape that facility. So, overall, I'm going to stick to my guns. I'm going to say it's a 6 out of 10 for me. It was fun, but needed a lot more put in. And on that note, I'm going to end the video. Let me know your thoughts and stuff in the comments. What do you rate this event? Did you even take part in the event? Let me know all of that good stuff, but that is going to do it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.